I'm Dajuan Johnson. Welcome to the Think Bigger Actors podcast, where I share with you different kinds of talks and coachings and conversations with actors and industry professionals on thinking bigger. I hope these conversations will help you on your path to success, because I believe success is an inside job that starts with your mindset and the thoughts you hold dominant in your mind. Change your thoughts and you change your world. Your path to thinking bigger begins now. Welcome back to the Think Bigger Actors podcast. I'm your host, Dajuan Johnson. And boy, oh boy, do I have a podcast episode for you. Well, obviously I have a podcast episode for you. That's why you're here. But I mean, this is going to be so good. We're talking about AI, vertical dramas. And I think what people thought was fear-mongering when everybody was like, oh, AI is going to steal our acting jobs. Well, listen. It's actually here. And today I'm talking to Ashley BeLoat, who this actually happened to. And I came across this article in her story in Business Insider, the magazine, and I was floored. I was like, okay, so here we go. This is really, really happening. So I've been diving fully into trying to understand these microdramas and verticals for a little bit now, but I think this is part of the business that is exploding. Actually, I know it is exploding. They got like $26 million and like so much. They're in the billions, the revenue they're bringing in. And yes, I know SAG has a microdrama agreement now, but if I'm being honest, part of me, I feel like we're a day late and a dollar too short. You know, let me just preface this by saying I don't know all the ins and outs about what's going on SAG. I'm not on a SAG board. I tried. If you've been following me long enough, you know that I tried to run for office because I didn't want to be one of those people who was just complaining about our union. I really wanted to just make some change, and I didn't win, and that's okay. But I was going to say, I really wish our union had gotten ahead of this faster before the business exploded the way it has. Because I was reading the Wrap. It's an online news thing. And on August 12th, they reported that James Franco is doing a micro-series. Yeah, James Franco. Whatever we think about James Franco, let's put that aside. But, and also Taye Diggs has already starred in several, and created his own microdrama app. Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Jimmy Fallon, Kevin Hart, Issa Rae, they're all producing and starring in or developing in this space. And let's just go back to Issa Rae for a second. Issa Rae, her screen time, 250 million views in its first month. 250 million views. I don't know any TV show that's getting that. No TV show that's collectively, we can do one whole network is not getting that many views in a month. So this little thing that, verticals over here, something you watch on your phone that you can just act like it isn't happening, it's happening. It's happening. And the James Franco series is also one of the first being produced under the SAG after that verticals agreement that they have going on. But I still feel like we are behind the eight ball because it reminds me a little bit of streaming when streaming came along. And listen, I can say this because I was one of those actors who was actually working in streaming early, and I don't make great residuals. I wasn't making great residuals when it was happening, when I was on the show. So I was like, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to run for a SAG board, because I was like, there's a lot of people who are possibly not working or who are celebrities that are on our board that are out there, and they make great residuals. They know what they don't. I don't feel like they're acting like the middle class actor or the journeyman actor. So, I'm just going to share this. Do you know I did 7 seasons on a show as top of show guest star, and I probably make $6,000 a year in residuals from it. Probably less. Meanwhile, I was on CSI New York back in 2006, 2007. It's one of my first credits as a co-star, and I still get checks from that show that are bigger than some of my Bosch residuals. Yeah, think about that. Some of those are bigger than my Bosch residuals from back in 2006. And that's the fear. That's the fear that I was sitting with. It was sitting in my stomach when I first read what happened to Ashley. Because that is scary to me. I start thinking about how much this business doesn't feel viable sometimes anymore for the middle class actor. And look, I work. I work. I do. I'm sitting here having made my health insurance for the better part of 2 decades. I get it. I get it. I'm not being ungrateful. So don't DM me about like, at least you're working. No. This is not me being ungrateful. But I would like to keep earning my health care. I would like to keep doing what I love to do. And more of it. Thank you, more please. But when I say the middle class actor, what I'm really talking about is like, I guess they call it like the journeyman actor, right? Who makes a living from acting without, maybe they're not like a household name or something like that, but they make a living at it. And I want to be clear, because I'm a union boy. I really, really, really am a union boy. I believe in our union, and I've been on non-union sets to know the difference. I've been on enough of those. Gosh, you know what? I was electrocuted. On a non-union set in a right-to-work state in Texas when I was shot in Texas. The 2 leads were union. They flew us in. And the other actors weren't. And because I was union, I was able to walk back to my trailer and say, I'm not doing that scene again. I'm not doing this again until the proper safety precautions are in place. But if you're non-union and you were on that set, you couldn't do that. So this matters to me. This all matters to me. And so, yes, I'm happy these verticals are becoming union. I really, really am. But I also have to say this. And it might get me some of those hate DMs that are coming my way. I can just see it. But I get why actors who aren't working as much are doing verticals. I even get why they're doing non-union ones, like to act. That's what they want to do, to act and pay their bills, their mortgage, hell, to eat, to go on a vacation, to have a life. How alive, man. As I got to tell you, we keep telling actors, don't do that work. It's non-union, but we're not giving them enough union work. There's not enough. That's not enough union work out there. We're like all clawing at that to actually. These people are not. They're not these people. I shouldn't say it that way. But they're like actors who are not in non-union. They're not making a living. And the same small group of actors, you know what I'm talking about, they're the ones that keep getting hired over and over and over again because this is a business, and I understand that you put your money behind a business. I get all of that. But maybe that's why. I wish we had gotten to verticals a lot faster. Not because I'm against the union. Don't go out there saying that. I'm clearly not. But I want more of this to work, this work out there to be union. I want us to be protected. I don't want anybody getting electrocuted on set. I want people to get paid properly too. I want people to have a chance to act. That's what we all want to do is act. So, I don't know. I just don't want to wait until a new part of the business is already exploding before we figure out, what we got to do. So, I don't know. Verticals are here. They're here, and I truly believe that, everybody who's out there fighting them and turning up their nose at them, acting like this isn't a real acting or this isn't real, television, it's time. It really is time. Actually, you know what? It might be already behind time. What is that, behind time? I think it has been because Hollywood has already entered the chat. And the next couple of years... It's gonna be crazy. You got Fox in the chat. You got Disney who's doing microdramas. They're doing it. Everybody's doing it now. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Enough of that. I got to tell you, the next couple episodes I'm going to be doing, I am talking about this microdramas, AI, and verticals. All that stuff. I am bringing on. I'm talking to directors. I got actors. I got producers. People who are actually making these things, so that we can get a better understanding. So hang with me, rock with me. You know what I mean? Today we're talking to Ashley BeLoat. Okay, that's what we're doing today. And I don't know. We've all been debating these verticals, and she's been doing them. And what a lovely soul. What a freaking lovely soul. Like, I got to talk to, and I'm just so happy. So, all right. You know the deal. Like, stick around to the end so you can listen to the D12 shop where I bring it all together. Ashley BeLoat, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I am so good, but so excited that you are here.
I'm excited to be here. What are you talking about? I was so excited when you reached out to me.
Yeah, I kind of went out on a limb. Like, most of the people who have been on the podcast before are either friends I've worked with or friends of friends and stuff like that. It's usually, because you're out there in the world and so you meet a lot of people. But I was like, I'm gonna try to reach out to Ashley and see if you'll come on.
I'm glad you did. When I got the email introduction, I was like, this is an opportunity I need to take. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we're here to talk about like so much, AI and vertical dramas and all that stuff. But I want to just like, stop for a second and just think about, before we talk about that story, who is Ashley? Who is Ashley? And can we go back to like when you're like, I want to hear a little bit about you as an amazing, actress, because there's a lot, because like there's registered nurse in there. There's like all this
Yes.
stuff in there. So just tell me a little bit about that.
I'm actively figuring this out. Life is a whirlwind. I originally started in modeling. I
Yeah.
am from Florida, and then all of my other real world jobs have always been in healthcare. Everything from nurse assistant in an assisted living facility in an Alzheimer's and dementia unit, then registered nursing, working pretty much every specialty there is. Getting placed in LA for a modeling contract, juggling that and nursing, and then the pretty pictures got me in the room for acting opportunities, and then I got myself an acting class. But yeah, I've always been juggling right and left brain things my whole life. Life moves fast. It's hard to switch modes, but it all seems to center around the theme of empathy. Nursing,
Mm.
acting, they're both businesses of people and empathy. And I feel like that's just my life. So
Yeah.
that's me
Wow.
in the Cliff Notes version.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I didn't want to interrupt there, but Florida?
Yes, yes. Have you ever been?
I am from Florida.
What part?
I'm from Miami. I'm from Miami. And if,
Okay.
if if this were a normal background for me, you
Yeah.
would see that I usually have a University of Florida, like a
Get
little
out of
placard up
here.
behind me. So let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
How did you, find your way into vertical dramas? Like that's one. Let's go there. We don't have to go way back, but like
Yeah.
vertical dramas yourself. How did you find your way in there?
My manager really encouraged me to submit and audition, and it was something different. It's a very unique format. If you've ever read the scripts or watched them, you'll see that there's very, very quick emotional shifts. And I was coming from like indie film, commercial, and I'm like, wow, there's like two, three emotional turns, major emotional turns on this page. This is interesting. And really getting on the first few sets, that's where I started to understand, okay, this is a very unique style. This is a very unique
Yeah.
tone. But I just never looked back. It was what was mainly working at the time, and I just kept going.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The emotional shifts. I've directed. I directed my last directing thing was a vertical scene,
It
and it's so much fun. It is
is.
so much fun, and I think if you just lean into it a little bit, it's like you just get it. But for somebody who's never watched one, I've gone down the rabbit hole of them. Can you tell? We'll just say what exactly is a vertical. I'm going to tell my side of it. It
Mm.
literally is almost like a novella. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like a novella, lots of turns, lots of dramatic stuff that happens in a
Mhm.
minute and a half. And
Yeah.
there's like another, it rolls right into the next one and the next one. I think mobile reels was a little bit longer. It felt like, and then a minute and a half.
Yeah. Well, I think that particular show was a little slower to open up too because it was more of a tragedy
Yeah.
storyline and they let us give moments for it to breathe. But typically it is a lot faster. It is 1 to 2 minutes. I would say that's a great way to describe it a novella, a soap opera with commercial breaks every 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Some kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
hook that keeps you watching. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't call it a commercial break because it's kind of like Law and Order SUV when
Yes.
I'm in the hotel and like all of a sudden I'm like watching it and then like it just rolls right into the next Law and Order and then here I am 5 hours later. I'm like, when is this gonna stop? I need to like because it's so good. Like, how many
That's the
verticals have you?
goal.
I love that. How many have you done so far?
I've done 31. Well, I say 31. One of them was we weren't sure if it was going to be a feature film or vertical, so we shot it in open gate format and it turned into a feature film edit. But I count that because we weren't sure what it was going to be at the time when we were filming. So 31, 30. Yeah.
31
Yeah.
verticals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So am I going too far by saying you're a vertical sensation?
Well, there's a lot of actors that have been very blessed to be employed regularly in these, and a lot of crew members as well. So, I mean, that's very generous of you to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I just consider myself a working actor, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, because people are watching these
They
and
are.
they know who you are from that. Like, like so I'm calling it here on this podcast. I have Ashley below the vertical sensation.
Oh my goodness. You're
Well,
so
seriously,
kind.
what is the fan response been? You know what I mean? Because like you walk through. I mean, what's the fan response been?
I've been told by very sweet ladies around the world that they enjoy watching my shows. The viewing audience is predominantly middle-aged women, and I love that. I love that I'm entertaining the women of today. So that makes me very happy. I hear constantly that people either loved my characters, resonated with my characters, or loved to hate them because I also play villains. I love playing both sides of the coin.
Oh,
Yeah, but I often I do fashion as well, and I've been in fashion shows and backstage getting my makeup done, and a makeup artist has come over to me and been like, "Do you act?" And I'll be like, "Yes," and she'll be like, "I knew it. I hated you so much. You're actually so nice."
yeah, I love that. I love that.
It's fun. We have a good time. Yeah.
But most of those 30, like you've been leads in, right? Like you've been, no, not all of
Half
them.
and half. I
Okay.
started mainly as the antagonist, and it took me a while to really get into the lead realm. And my first lead opportunity, I was playing two characters, the heroine and the main antagonist. So that was kind of my way in, that I could do both.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. That was fun. My first experience working with a body double and making sure that I communicated gestures to her so the OTS would match the over the shoulder cover. It was really fun, really technical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
fast do the verticals shoot? I've never been on, like I said, I directed one and
Yeah.
it's a little bit like we had like an hour and a half to do like a scene.
Yes.
But how fast does it shoot if you're, especially if you're playing both of those people?
Yeah, it depends on the platform that you're working with and how many shoot days they've blocked in. I've shot anywhere from 8 pages a day to 36 pages a day. Yes, yes. Some platforms they still like to shoot with only one camera at a time. Candy Jar, they used to go by Galatea. They still do one camera at a time. But I've shot with up to four cameras at a time, depending on how many characters are in a
Or,
scene. So you can really be like banging it out. Some shows have more monologues than others. And I've been in some days where we are doing 11 to 16-minute takes all the way through. If it's all one big long scene and it's all playing, so
wow.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, usually like 1 hour, 1.5 hours. It moves fast. It
It
moves,
moves fast.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what I also just want to say like I think this is a lot like soap operas too
it is.
because when I was on General Hospital like we were shooting like 60 pages like a
Yeah,
day like do you know what I mean we were going and that was and I often thought that people like turn their nose up against soap operas and I was like these actors are like killing it
they
like
are.
they're like emotional they're crying and they're going to the neck it was like phenomenal I think like acting training, if you will.
Yes.
That's a good way to look at it there. I guess I'm wondering, like, what do you know how the people feel about, whether you like verticals or not? I'm not here to talk about that, but but I am like, what do you think that actors right now misunderstand about verticals? Because I think that like, I think they're missing it a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it could be kind of fun.
It's very fun. I mean, it is a lot like soap opera. As an actor, you have to walk in, you have to understand the point of the scene, how you feel about everything, make strong decisions about that because they want the strong reactions. And I mean, tone of the show does vary based on platform and director. You could be a little more grounded, or they could want the height of heights and you just
Yeah.
go for it. I really try to listen to the adjustments of the director, and it's like whatever the director and client want, whether it's more grounded, whether it's heightened to the max. I try to listen and adjust because even if you want to keep a grounded performance, but everyone else is up here, you're going to stick out in a bad way, and you're going to
Yeah.
not be what the goal of the show is. And I mean, whatever the viewer is there to see, you want to give them that. So it's just leaning into whatever it is and having fun. Yeah.
Oh, I just had another thought. I want to talk
Yeah.
about, Hate the Way I Love You. I really want to talk about that.
Let's do it.
Right before we get there, though, I just want
Okay.
to ask about auditioning for verticals. I didn't even
Yes.
think about that. Like, what's that? Is it just like any other process? Or would you say, like, because you've auditioned for a ton, well, I bet you probably just go direct to offer now. Like, no,
Sometimes,
yeah,
but a lot of times I still audition. And that is a great question. I'm kind of working on that right now because there is less vertical work and there's more work in other niches. So I'm trying to adjust my audition tone a little bit more. But vertical auditions, a lot of times it is more heightened. Those clean physical beats they love to see. They like visual representations of everything, whereas like more traditional auditions, it's more about the essence of who you are.
yeah, yeah.
But I feel like in vertical auditions, they want to see it, they want to hear it, they want to as close as it would be on the day. So I'm doing the physical acts, like the physical movements. So I've played a boxer a couple times, and like I was throwing myself against the wall and all that crazy
Yeah.
stuff. So it is a fun game auditioning for verticals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little different.
It's a little different.
It's a little different. And listen, I think anything we audition for is going to be a little different. It's kind of
It is.
like if you're doing procedurals versus you're going to do a sitcom, multi-camera. You know what I mean? You have
Yeah.
to adjust to that medium.
Yeah.
And this is a different medium, and you can't go in there thinking that, what works for that, something else will work for this, it sounds like.
And I'm trying to grow in that. I'm always trying to grow in that as an actor. I like working in multiple different niches, multiple different tones, characters. So I'm always trying to keep that alive and grow in the ability to shift modes. And
Yeah.
audition is one of those examples. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we're never gonna get to hate the way I love you if you keep if you keep giving me these little nuggets that I have to go with because you said something that was really great. You said there's not a lot of work in verticals right now.
No.
Because what does that mean? Because 2 months ago, 3 months ago, it was like get in verticals. Verticals are where it's at. Vertical, vertical, vertical. And now what I hear a vertical sensation saying right now is it's not a lot of work in that. What does that? What does that mean?
Means that a lot of the leading platforms went fully AI because the technology was at a place that they felt it was ready. It is less expensive to make shows that way, but the fans are finding the flaws with performance, wardrobe mismatches, mispronunciation of words, just little things that take them out of
Yeah,
the immersion of the story, and they also are just missing the human actors. And
connection. Yeah.
yes. I mean, art is it's an art form of humanity, and if we strip it of that, what are we doing? What are we making? I think the fans are feeling that. But right now, because of the cost mainly, a lot of platforms have shifted to fully AI. So that's taken a lot of work away from actors, a lot of crew members. However, I do think that we're going to see more American-based platforms coming up in this time. I really
Yeah.
do. And I think that's going to influence the tone of a lot of verticals coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I saw Issa Rae did one
Yeah.
where she had 25 million in 24 hours, like people watching it. So
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect segue into one of your biggest verticals that I've been teasing for a little bit here. Hate the way I love you. One of the things that happened in there, like you walk us through, is you came across, another version that felt similar to like the look on your face that felt similar to the work you've done.
Yeah.
So I read that Business Insider article, so I just want to hear it from you. Walk us through what happened and what we're
Yes.
talking about.
Lovely. So I was blessed to be part of a show that I was very honored to book. It was a storyline about terminal illness. I booked the lead, and my character was diagnosed with cancer. And
Who she thought was pregnant in the beginning. It was like, sorry,
right,
sorry, sorry. I'm a
right.
fan.
No, it's true. Yeah, she thinks she's pregnant, and she goes and finds out that instead it's cancer, and she's terminal. And I felt very connected to this project from the get-go because as a registered nurse, I've worked in oncology, and I've been very forthcoming about this too. Like my mom passed of cancer, and I had a cancer scare right before booking this part. And I think the universe does that to me repeatedly, just puts things in my life that prepare me perfectly for the roles that I'm then trusted with. So I received this part, and I was like, I know it's a vertical. I know that we're in drama, and they may adjust me to be at the height of heights. However, I feel a responsibility to care for this because this is a subject matter that has affected a lot of people in a very real way and could be very triggering and very traumatic. So I wanted to care for this show. And I think everyone really, really tried to do that responsibly. So we put this show out. It was a bestseller for the app, and I received a lot of beautiful messages from viewers talking about personal experiences and how they related to the show. And then about a year later, I was notified by a viewer that the same show had been remade. However, that our visual likenesses were changed into AI. So I looked up I followed the rabbit hole that they sent me down, and I saw what appeared to be the same exact shots, the same backgrounds. The day players and background were still visually there. However, the lead characters had been visually replaced with AI people. The audio was the exact same. Shots of my hands looked identical. They
Mm.
did not look altered to my eye. And the lines that I had improvised when they didn't call cut were still there as well. A lot of the expressions were influenced by what I did in the moment, the reactions, the movements. So, and in my when we were making the show, there was no language about AI because it was made at a time where that was not really happening. Nowadays in contracts, you'll kind of see that, but that there was no talk of that. So it was like, oh, it was a surprise. I hadn't been told about it. I hadn't been asked about it. And like I said, a viewer is the one that brought that to my attention. So
And
yes,
yet she's not a vertical sensation. The viewers are like, "We got your back, girl." Like, you know what I
the
mean?
viewers are so loyal. The
Yes.
viewers have
Yes.
loved these. The viewers have loved because we're being on a vertical platform, being in vertical format. We are going with our viewers throughout their lives, everywhere they go. We're available for them whenever they need to escape or whenever they have a moment of time in the middle of their busy lives, and they have become so loyal to the actors. It's been beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So wait, let me just walk back
Yeah.
because I'm kind of my
It's a lot.
mouth. No. Yes, it's a lot, but my jaw was dropping. So I think one of the big things I wanted to point out was there was no language in your like the contract, right? That it
It was interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things that you said was the day players were the same, just the leads were changed. And I didn't read anywhere that you also said like after they didn't call cut, and some of the things I improv were there as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, it looks strange. That's all we're
It
gonna
looks
say.
strange. Yeah, I'm not sure how far you got into the show, but like the moment after Lillian receives the cancer diagnosis, like
Three
cut did
hundred
not
thousand
call.
dollars that he owed, and
Yes.
I was in it,
So,
you
but
guys.
like in that office, in that
Yeah,
doctor's office, they
yeah,
didn't call cut. So I stayed in it and
yeah.
I improvised a lot of stuff and the lovely actress that played the doctor, like she stayed in it with me.
Yeah.
But you know, like all of that made it to the adaptation.
Adaptation.
Yes.
Yes, the similar version.
Yes. Yes.
Well, listen, everybody. I am definitely trying to be serious about this, but I
Yeah.
also want to make sure that we aren't like backing ourselves in a hole or anything like that because you understand that. But I'm floored by that. So a couple years ago in the SAG strike, everybody was up in like our likeness can get taken. Like, and this isn't a hypothetical right now. It seems like this might be something that's here and the
It
train
is.
has left the station almost on that, would you say?
Oh, it has. I mean, the reason that I said something about it is because I know I'm not the only one that this has happened to. And um, this was an instance that felt bigger than me. It felt beyond me,
Mm,
particularly because it was dealing with such a very real subject matter that was a responsibility to take care of. And
yeah.
this was beyond, oh, Ashley wasn't paid for something, like that. I'm just saying that's not what it was. It was more of this is happening to other actors too, and this happened to something that is a very sensitive subject for the viewers,
Yeah.
and that's why I felt like I should just mention, like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah. Were you nervous? Like, were you nervous to speak up about this? I know one of the things that I think actors they always hear in their ear, they're like, I'm so worried about being blackballed. I'm so worried about like, upsetting quote unquote the powers that be. So, but you like stepped head first in it.
I wouldn't say head first,
Would you
but
say AI first? I'm sorry, I'm a dad. I'm a dad, and that dad joke was not even necessary.
I just everywhere I go and everything I do, I really try to operate with what feels right.
Yeah.
And I felt such a big responsibility with this show in particular for the viewers, and it felt right to
Yeah.
say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to just commend you because like I said, I think there's a fear or people don't step up, say something because they're worried about all that stuff. And what I hear you saying is I felt responsible
I
for
did.
this. And I think, all of us out there who say we want to act or who say we want to do this stuff, like we have a moral responsibility. Like it's like when we dive into these characters, like I understand that somebody's going to see themselves or their situation
Yeah.
in me. So I am really precious with those things, even if I'm auditioning, by the way. Like if I'm
Mm.
auditioning those, like this is my moment to show, to really be precious about that and give my best read. So I just want to say thank you for that from what you're doing, what we're doing to humanity out there.
Likewise, likewise.
How did the Business Insider come about? Like, so let me catch the viewers up real quick or the listeners. Like, I read this in a Business Insider article, first, and so I was like, wow, okay, how did that come about?
I was connected to Business Insider. I was also connected to someone at Bloomberg who is writing a similar article. But I was booked on set that week, and I never had time to meet with them. But yeah, people have been trying to put me in contact with multiple reputable press sources since seeing this. I'm shocked at how quickly, how far, and how meaningful this information has been to a lot of people everywhere I go, every set that I go on, every person within the industry that I'm talking to, they're like, I read what happened. And but like I said, I know it's not just me, and I'm not saying it as if it's just happening to me. It's really hopefully to spread awareness about what is happening in this opportunity that we have to move forward.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
been hearing anything has changed since the article came out, or what have you been hearing?
I have not heard anything changing in my case. I have not heard anything changing in other cases. But what I am hearing is that people are realizing that this is an opportunity for growth. I am hearing that people are trying to put more protective language into their contracts, which has been happening for a while. But I'm hoping that the companies that have more how do I say this? I'm hoping that U.S. based companies are able to really understand the importance of following those contracts and making those adjustments. Sometimes we're seeing that contract adjustments are not honored, or contracts in general are not honored with certain companies. So we do what we can to protect
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I know you've been very like careful and with your language around this isn't about AI being good or AI being bad. That's not what we're here to discuss.
No.
I guess my question then would be, what do you think the real conversation is here for other actors? Is it about contracts or is it about like just being diligent on like what's the it isn't bad or good here, but what should we be thinking?
Yeah, I would say being aware of what could happen. What are
Mm,
you okay with? Everyone has different boundaries. It's the same with intimacy scenes as well. Everyone has different boundaries of what they want done with their likeness, or what they want to give the opportunity to be done with their likeness. But knowing what you're okay with, putting the language in contracts to protect yourself from what you don't want, and I think having open conversations with producers of intentions and vision for projects from the get go, like those are all very important things. But at the end of the day, it's just we have to trust who we're working for. We have to have protections in place for what we want, how we want to work.
yeah.
This is an interesting time. The types of work that we're going to be doing are going to be changing drastically. The
Yeah.
types of work that are it mostly in production are going to be changing drastically. We're going to, if we are comfortable in working with more special effects, it's going to change how we have to perform, reacting to things that are not there. This is such an interesting time for performance in general. But we have to be protecting ourselves however we feel we need to.
Yeah, I have a 25-year-old niece. I think she might be 26, and I was talking to her on FaceTime. And as I was talking to her on FaceTime, she had her iPad over here, like, watching Tubi and stuff like that. And I remember there was a time where we were like, Tubi, or what was that other one, Quibi, or something
Yes,
like that. Like those,
yes.
we're like, we're not going to act on that stuff. But that generation is really looking at this stuff, and they're really looking at vertical dramas, and they're really, looking at these things. And so I hear you on it's changing
Mhm.
fast. And I just don't know. I just don't know. Do we get on board, or do we like fight it, or like what happens? Because yeah.
It's tough, and I never want to deprive viewers of what they want to see. I
Yeah.
always feel like, who am I to tell someone they shouldn't want to watch something?
Yeah.
So I I I don't know. I always feel like whatever people want to see, I they should.
Yeah.
It's my job as a performer to see what I can bring to the table that they want to consume, and that's going to be an ever evolving journey based off
Yeah.
of what types of work are coming out and popular, and then how we change, or if our look changes, what casting types we fit. It's yeah, but
Yeah.
that's the nurse in me. That's the that's the
I
person
love
that's
it.
always like, I just want to make people happy. I just yeah.
I just do it.
Yeah, I just wanna-
Um, I got a question for you, and
yeah.
like you might not have an answer for this, and it's okay. But I'm just thinking now that the union is getting involved with verticals, and have you seen there's like a shift there, or like is it just like meaning that like people are I don't know, is that helping with the not so many dramas? I'm sorry, verticals
Mhm.
out there doing it. I just like I know the SAG is trying to really, or they're already in it. They're
They
already in
are.
it. Yeah.
They are. But I have not been on a union vertical set, so I
Okay.
can't speak from that from personal experience.
Okay. Yep.
I feel like the majority of them are still non-union,
Yeah. Yeah.
but SAG has gotten involved in some of them. Yes.
Yeah. I guess I just yeah, because I wonder like Tay Diggs is
Mhm.
doing them, like he has a like platform. I know, like Nate Parker or Issa Rae, like I said earlier. I watched, that one. And it's very interesting how they're shifting, how you can watch some that are novella, but then this one feels like it was a longer feature that just they sliced up, and it's gorgeous, and it's just really wonderful. So we're going to some fun times.
We are.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it. I am. I am. But especially since the niche I was working in went very AI, this was the time where I was like, I think it's important for me to fill some of my time with nursing again. So I have just picked up another nursing job. I want to keep human connection close. That
Yeah, yeah.
just I thrive on that. Yeah.
That's so funny. That was one of the things I read in the article that you
Yeah.
had said that, now that, you used to do a lot of them, but now that this AI is coming back, like it's taking work away from actors, and you're not a working actor in that sense, but you went and back to registered nurse. Are you, I would think that you like can still parlay this into so much more with the verticals, or, network, or however, because it was great.
Well, thank you. I will say I finally I've just got through orientation at my job, and I've been then I booked two things back to back, and I haven't been able to get any shifts yet. We're figuring it out week by week right now.
Isn't that great? You're like,
It's
you know
just
what? I'm gonna universe. I understand this is happening. I'm
I
gonna go over
understand.
here, and the universe is like, what about me over here?
What about this? It's just wild. It's happened a lot. Like for a while, I've always been like, okay, if I don't book something by Friday, then I'm going back to nursing, and then I would
Yeah.
book something Thursday, and I'd be like, well, here we
Or
go.
Friday morning. That's just as you're
Friday
getting.
morning is just like that. You get it. It's just
Yep.
so last minute sometimes. And then auditions alone are a full-time job. I got 13 auditions in 2 days a week
No
ago, or
way.
so 2 weeks ago. Craziness. I've done 245 auditions this year alone. 245.
245.
245.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
auditioning more than I've ever auditioned in my life. So now I'm like, I genuinely don't know how I'm going to fit all of this into my schedule again.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot,
Wait.
but you do what
Okay.
you
Okay.
have to
Okay.
do.
Hold on now. Hold on. See, this is like you all, I'm like, this is why you have to be a good listener when you're a podcaster because it's like I could run past this, or 245. That's
Yes.
one number we're going to talk about, but
Okay.
13 in a 2 day period. Like,
I didn't tape them all in 2 days, but like they came into my inbox, and I think I did as many as I could. I don't think I declined any. I don't remember. Life is a whirlwind. But
is that all
yeah,
for vertical? Is that all for vertical dramas? Or
no, I'm auditioning for procedurals, for soap operas, for commercials, for verticals, for indie film, I go out for a wide range of things, which I love. I love that, and I want to protect that and do that as long as I can. But it's a lot.
well, you know what? I think that's very important because I think this is the reason this is important is because I think a lot of actors think that they don't want to become a vertical drama actor only, right? And so what I'm hearing you say is, no, 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 I still audition for everything. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, yes. Like the two things that I booked back to back. I did a short film, and then I did a music video that was very much shot like a feature film. And I'm very excited to see this come out. Very, very excited. But yeah, I'm consistently booking a wide range of stuff, and I have some comedic commercials going through TV. You may see me doing Magic for Mercury right now.
Yeah.
I never know what the next job is going to be. It could be physical comedy one day. It could be poisoning people on a vertical another day, and then it could be doing like stunts on another set here. It's really fun. I love it.
I'm just in awe of this conversation. I'm in awe of it because what I'm really hearing is you're a working actor. What
I,
I'm really hearing is like, like we're like everybody's pitchfork. You, all right, you all. This is what I want to say to this, and I'm tongue tied because it's like we don't evolve in this industry, and it's like we can only do it one way. And I always like joke with people, my listeners, like everybody wants to hold on to black and white headshots. The
Mhm.
industry has evolved. And what I hear you saying, instead of like, I'm not doing anything, you're literally out there working and you're out there auditioning and you're out there, you're doing what we say we want to do, tell stories, and there are people who are poo-pooing it, who are really like, wow.
No, it's the most gratifying thing for me to get on the same creative page with different people, and I love trying to merge and match different visions, and I still do that in fashion. And I just had an editorial come out for Harper's Bazaar that I
I
created and
saw it.
directed. Oh, the stunt one.
I saw your Instagram. I told you I did
Oh,
some things, and like that was your first picture there. It's like
yes,
yeah, it's
yes.
gorgeous. I was like,
Thank
is
you.
this Harper Bazaar?
Yes,
Like,
I creative directed and produced that. I have another one that I'm waiting for tear sheets on, though. It was a stunt theme. It's already live on the website, but I creative directed, produced, wardrobe styled that. But like, I don't know. I just, whatever I can do to bring creative visions to life in different tones and just be a creative storyteller. I love it. And I'm always growing, evolving, learning. Because I try to get
hmm.
into different tones and themes and visions, and I never feel comfortable per se. It's always like, oh, let's explore this together. But yeah.
I'm just looking at her, everybody, and I'm just like my mind is exploding. Like it's exploding,
So kind.
because I think you've opened up my like idea what a vertical drama could bring. I
Mhm.
even when I put it out there that I was directing one, people are like, "You're directing one? Like, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, that's
Yeah.
that's one of the things that my acting has evolved into, to directing, and I still love acting." I still love
Yeah.
acting, but I also want to tell stories this way as well. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Have you quit? Have you quit
No.
acting?"
Gone are the days where we do just one thing. I
Thank you.
really feel that. I feel the more we understand, it makes us better on set in any capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we land this beautiful plane here, I just wanted to say, what questions do you think actors should be asking themselves or asking production or, whoever when they get ready to do a vertical drama that, about their performances maybe be used because some people don't feel like they might have the language or even the position to speak to producers because you've done 30 of them, like, so maybe they're more collaborative to my one.
Well, I will not lie. Sometimes when you ask questions or ask for adjustments in contracts, another casting choice can be made.
Oh, wow.
That does happen.
Yeah.
But if a production is stating that they want to have rights to use AI, like, then that is a conversation of, well, is that for a specific scene? Is that to achieve a fight sequence? Is that to achieve a motorcycle chase? Is that for background effects? Is that for world building? Or is it for adjustments of my likeness? Is it for an intimacy scene that I otherwise wouldn't be doing? Having those conversations, getting it in writing, and then having any adjustments to contract made that reflect the intended use. Those are all things that we should be asking. I do believe that in this day and age, made by humans and like fully practical, that will be much more valuable, and that will have a valuable following and fan base. But I think it's almost inescapable that AI in some capacity will be involved in a lot of productions. So getting clarity on what's the intention for it, what is the use of it, and getting the language in the contract to reflect that, I think that's where we're going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm sorry. I know, but thank you for using your powers for good, meaning like for turning this around and for speaking up about it. Not just on this awesome podcast, but I know you're out there really like, just respectfully talking about it in other places. So I just want to say thank you, because I didn't know this was happening already. I mean, it's the boogeyman in our head, but this actually happened to you.
It is. And truly it was an opportunity. I feel like the universe blessed me with the perfect opportunity to say something. And I feel like there's some good things happening already that I'm probably not aware about, even because of it. So I'm grateful. We have to turn everything into a blessing. It was an opportunity, and I think it was the right thing to do, to say something. So.
I love that. We'll end this with one of the things that I always say, and I put out there, and maybe you can take this as I always say: put my name on the lips of people that matter. Just put, like, when you're out there, just put my name, because there's people, and your name is in rooms that you don't even know. Like, do you know what I mean? And people are thinking about, like, yes, like how you handled all this with grace. So keep rocking it out.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So good. Just so good. I was thinking when I played Garrett on Grey's Anatomy, I don't know if you saw the episode, but it was the episode that I did an Emmy campaign with. And in that episode, my wife was dying, and I had to make the decision to let her go. I mean, she made the decision, but I had to let her go. And I cried for 5 weeks. For 5 weeks on that show. I gotta tell you, I put my heart and soul into that role. I really, really, really did. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. When you have such a delicate story and you want to make sure you did your best with it. But I'll tell you this, when it aired, people wrote me. They wrote me, and something that had never happened in my career before. And I remember one of these women in particular, a woman named Becca, reached out and thanked me for the way I handled the story. And I was touched. I was like, oh man, I got one fan. And I remember another woman who shared what happened after her healthy young father had a stroke out of nowhere. And she said she understood what Garrett, my character, she understood what Garrett was going through when I said, if she dies, I die. She dies, I die. Because in her own way, she said she had lived that. I remember reading all those messages and thinking, I'm so glad that we protected the story. I'm so glad that we went all in. And I'm happy. I'm happy I gave it everything I had. Because they weren't writing me because I cried that I cried for 5 weeks. Sometimes as actors, we want to make sure we cry and all that stuff. That wasn't what they were writing me for. They were writing me because they saw something that they had lived through me. They saw it in me. Something I made them, that I did up there. It made them feel seen. That's the work. That's what I'm talking about. That's all of it. And now as we just are getting our heads around these verticals and microdramas, we have to worry about AI, and they're not doing that. And what could happen, they're going to steal our likenesses and our performances. But here's what I want to say to all of us. Will the audience feel it? Will they be writing in letters like that to an AI, oh, great job, video? I don't think they're going to feel it. And I don't think they're going to write in like they wrote in about the story between Garrett and Natasha. That's really my question. Will the audience feel it? That's my day 12 shot from this episode. It's about the human connection. I think technology is going to get better. We know that. It just is. The wardrobe, mistakes will get fixed and the words will be pronounced correctly. The fingers, they have the AI figures. They'll get better. And at some point, we may not be able to look at something and immediately know it was made by a computer. Ashley talked about that. Ashley talked about, about being seen what appeared to be the same shots and seeing the same audio and even recognizing moments that she improvised, stuff that she improvised when the director didn't call cut. That was in the piece. I don't know, whatever the process is, whatever we used to create, that other version of us, here's what I know for sure. This is what I know they cannot take. They cannot take my lived experience, what I was putting into that. They cannot take Ashley's lived experience, her humanity. Yeah. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And audiences are rejecting that. You know that. I'm telling you right now. I think there's something for us to recognize. It's going to say human content soon, made by humans or something like that. I think that's going to be that. We are valuable. I know we are. We really are. Human beings still want to watch other human beings going through stuff. They want to connect. They don't want to watch a AI person do that. They want to see themselves. They want to get lost in that. They want to feel less alone. I don't know if you're doing that with an AI person. I don't know if you're doing that with a computer. So just know, I think we still have a job, but I think that we need to be doing it to the best of our ability now. Not the version of you that's trying to figure out, the perfect face or the perfect thing that casting wants. I think bring all of you to the role. Your lived experience, humanity, all that stuff. If you love somebody, put it in there. You lost somebody, put it in there. All of that stuff really, really matters. So I love it. I love what we get to do. I love the storytelling. I love it. I think we got to protect the story at all costs and make sure you just keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. I just want to say, don't quit. Don't get out of line. Borrow my faith in you. And above all else, hold the vision, not the circumstance. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you keep coming back. I love what I get to do. Let me know. If you like this, share this episode. Put this episode out there, so everybody can see, this episode with Ashley BeLoat and just all the goodness. We gotta keep spreading the word because I know a lot of people are upset and tired and frustrated with our union and what's going on in our industry. Hang in there. Hang in there. I'm hanging in there with you. All right. I'm rooting for you and I love you so big. See you next week.